Can I talk about how to use semicolons? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. I have good news for you, Melora. Kurt Vonnegut once said that the only reason a person uses a semicolon is to prove that they went to college. And while I do not agree with that necessarily, it is entirely possible for you to write an entire novel start to finish and have it be perfectly grammatically correct without ever once using a semicolon. Semicolons do have a purpose, but they are not as necessary and foundational to punctuation as, say, a period is. Here's a really famous example of semicolon usage. Happy families are all alike. Semicolon, every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Each piece on either side of that semicolon is a full and complete thought. It is a full and complete and grammatically correct sentence. Happy families are all alike, period. A capital E, every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Those would both be full and complete sentences. By using that semicolon there and smushing these together, the writer is telling the reader that they want to take these two ostensibly unrelated thoughts and think of them as related to one another. You are conveying that you want these two to be connected in the reader's mind, that you want these two things to become one big thing rather than two separate and distinct things. Readers, when they get to a full stop, when they get to a period, question mark, exclamation point, they will have an infinitesimal little pause in their mind in which they stop for a second. They will think that there is a little bit of a breath, there is a little bit of a pause in between those sentences. The semicolon lessens that mental pause. It stops people from thinking of this as like, here, stop, and go, stop. It makes it feel much more cohesive in the reader's mind. You can therefore see how this becomes very useful indeed. This can help to convey tone and personality and what the intention behind a story is. It can help to do a lot of things as far as voice and pacing and the way that the book feels to the reader. There is one caveat that I want to make sure that people understand when we are using semicolons like this. You are going to be tempted to use just two sentences, but in fiction, we are much more forgiving of sentence fragments, of sentences that are incomplete, that are not full and grammatically complete sentences. Those are okay from a lot of different viewpoints. Stylistically, we use a lot of them in fiction. You will not be able to get away with using fragments in this case. It will flag to the reader much more clearly that it is a fragment, and people get much more upset about it. This is not a thing that you can stylistically put fragments together and get away with. People will think that you're just using the semicolon incorrectly, and you are, but they will judge you much more harshly for it.